Hi everyone, welcome to NCKHUB. So today we came up with a video on SpringBoot Global Exception Handler. So in this video, we'll see how to handle the exceptions globally that are thrown in Spring Boot application. Yeah, so what is exception handling? Whenever there are errors or exception present in the application code flow, so we are going to throw the exceptions like either runtime exceptions or yeah. So coming to the example, so I created one Spring Boot project. So in my pom.xml, I added the dependencies like Spring Boot starter data JPA and Spring Boot starter web, and then I'm using the MySQL database to perform this CRUD operations. And yeah, default framework test framework it will be added. So I'm using Java 17 uh, to run my Spring Boot application. So this is the main default Spring Boot application class, where we can start our Spring Boot application. So I'm creating one entity class. So my table is trainings, and then I'm created trainings class. So it has four columns like ID, course, description, and whether that course is started or not, like it's a boolean. So I created one constructor and then getter setter methods for all those fields. And then so this is my repository class, which this is an interface class which I'm extending this JPA repository. So where my objects like training. So here I'm creating two whether find by started and then find by course containing. So whenever there is a course matching of some text, like I need to get the list of those trainings. So this is my training repository class, and then I created one controller class. So within this controller, so I'm using this at the rate REST controller annotation. So to make it a RESTful web services kind of application. So I'm auto varying my repository class, and then this is my get method. I'm providing the mapping path as training so that it will fetch all the trainings available in my database table. So here we can see that my return is a response entity with the list. So yeah, whenever I perform this thing get trainings, so it is going to fetch all my trainings and it's going to display in JSON format. So I'm creating an object trainings list, array list. So if my course is null, so suppose if I don't pass anything to this trainings, then yeah, it is going to fetch all the trainings that are available from the database, and then it is going to I'm using this for each method so that it will be added to this training list array list. Else if I provide the course, then it is going to just fetch which has only those course details. Okay, so suppose if I don't get anything, then I'm sending a HTTP like no content, nothing is there. If it is there, so I am just sending the with the response entity trainings list and then OK status. So if I want to see the trainings with the particular ID, then I'm creating one get mapping. So here I'm using the repository method like find by ID, and then if it is not available for that particular ID, then I'm throwing an exception like training not found exception. So here I'm sending one custom error message, no training found with ID. So if I click this, yeah, I created one training not found exception class which is extending the runtime exception. So I'm creating constructor and then whatever message I'm passing here, so I'm passing to the super constructor, so which is part of runtime exception. And similarly, Yeah, I am creating one post mapping method like trainings. Like if I want to add a new course details, then I'm using this repository save method to save my training data into database. And then once it is created, once it is added to database, then it is going to return all my training details. Suppose if I want to update my any course details, then I'm using this put mapping method. So I need to provide the course ID. Yeah, I'm passing the ID and then which data I want to update. So I'm passing the trainings object, and then here first I'm trying to find whether my ID is present or not. So if it doesn't present, then I'm throwing this training not found exception. If it is available, then I'm setting those details, updated data, course description, and is started, and then I am calling the save method so that updated data will be saved to the database. Suppose I want to delete my course details from database, then I'm using this delete mapping method trainings, and I need to pass the ID. So here also we can use this exception training not found exception. So yeah, I'm deleting based on the ID provided. So if this ID is not available, still we can throw this training not found exception. Suppose if I want to delete all the trainings, then I can use this my repository method delete all, so that it will delete all the trainings. And I want to get the trainings which are started. Okay, so yeah, I can use this training repository like find by started, so which are true, so that it is going to return me the list of trainings. Okay, so training not found exception class we have created, uh, and then we can see like how we can handle this global exception handler. So I created one exceptional controller exception handler. Okay, so here I'm providing this at the rate controller advice. So with the help of this, this can read the entire application, like whenever any exception throws. So first request comes here, and then it will search all the exceptional handler methods, like training not found exception or something else. Okay, once this exception is thrown, I need to present the user in a readable fashion. Like what is that exact message and what is the URI path that you're trying. So resource not found exception. So this is my method name, and this is the training not found exception and the web request. So yeah, basically we are requesting the mapping path URI. So yeah, and I am creating one error message class. So this error message has four variables like status code, timestamp, and message and the description. Like what is that exact status code and at what time, and what is that clear message and description. So this and all we can see in the JSON response. Okay, so now we'll start the Spring Boot application and see. Starting my Spring Boot application. Yeah, so yeah, there is application dot properties. So where I am providing my database details. Okay, so this is my application name, and this is my database URL, JDBC MySQL localhost, and this is my schema. And yeah, so without these things, we are unable to connect to MySQL database, like use SSL equal to false and allow public key retrieval equal to true. So when you set these as these parameters, then we can able to connect MySQL database. So this is my username and this is my DB password. So we need to provide the dialect for the Hibernate. So we are using this Spring JPA data. So yeah, we need to provide the dialect. So this is the dialect for MySQL. So my Spring Boot application started, and this is running on port 8080. Okay, so now we can verify these things in Postman. So first I'm trying to check whether any is available there or not. So currently there are nothing, so it doesn't retrieve anything. So first I'm trying to save something like with Java and core Java. So started false. Yeah, so it got added, and it generated auto ID. So 101 Java, core Java, and started is false. So now I will try the get mapping so that it will display the 101 Java and this thing. So I'm sending another request. So yeah, I'm providing this Amazon Web Services, S3 Elastic and Lambda. So started true. Yeah, so ID got generated 102, and then we can see in the get trainings. So it is displaying 2. So now I want to display this 1 or 2 alone. So I'm using this get mapping trainings, and then I'm providing the ID. Yeah, when I see like it is showing me 102, only that Amazon related. Suppose I'm trying to give something which is not there, 103. Yeah, so now it is giving the status code, HTTP status code like 404 not found, and this is the timestamp we tried. And what is the message like no training found with ID? So whatever we are providing ID, so that is not there, and this is the URI we are trying to apply. So this is my put mapping. So let's try 103. So here also we have handled this no such train found exception. So if I try to provide this thing, yeah, we'll get the same thing. Suppose 101 is already there, so I want to update details with this one. Okay, ID, course ID, description, and this thing. So click. Yeah, it got updated against 101, so we'll see it in get request. Yeah, we can see 101 that is got updated to Spring Boot. Okay, so yeah, similarly we can use the delete mapping for deleting any particular record. So yeah, I'm trying to delete this 102 which is Amazon Web Services. When I click it is returning empty, so I will try to check now. So it got deleted, and it is showing me only the 101. Yeah, so this is my table in the database, like create table trainings, like 4 columns: ID, course, description, started, and this is the primary key ID. Yeah, so this is how we can perform the CRUD operations, and we can provide the global exception handling with the help of controller advice. So and we can add any number of exceptional handler methods, like yeah, from wherever in the application, if we are throwing any exception, so we can add create those classes, and then now we can put under @controller advice. This is how we can handle different error messages. Okay, yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you very much.